Oh, yeah, we're frozen.
Okay, it was frozen.
Hey, but it was NyanCave. We can do anything. Wait,
That's some top quality Ace Attorney.
Here, let me fix this.
Yeah, I don't think it's unplug replug.
No, Clay, it's not you. Clay, sit down. Clay, what are you doing? Clay, listen to my words.
Oh my God! No! 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 No!
There you are.
Teleport's behind you.
Teleport's behind you. Oh my, oh mo.
That was me acting dead. What's up? Look at that. Acting. But I like that I was frozen in just the right sort of position for that. This
Yeah,
landing.
good thing none of you guys were doing something embarrassing.
Ace, it's like moaning on stream.
Like, your face wasn't making any like motion. It
No,
was
it
just
wasn't.
moaning noise.
Oh, but it looks like a
Ace
moan, but
Attorney.
it's actually just mid sneeze.
Ace Attorney. What's in the DS only?
Yeah. We're playing Spirited Justice. If you like these things because we're professional streamers, then throw a thumbs up on the video.
Where's bot? Bot connected somewhere. We're gonna disconnect bot and reconnect bot.
Hey, what's up, NEVD? Anevd on. But
Wow.
welcome to live.
I'm gonna take you to the wow, 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 wow. We're back. Anybody here?
Oh, hi, boss.
Oh, Athena. I thought I got rid of you by sending you off with Trucy.
I guess you could say that I'm taking a short break. But enough about me. What about the investigation? Did you find anything? Do you need any help? Anyone need some analytical psychology?
Well, it turns out that the third person Ellie says she saw at the scene of the crime might have been Sorin Sprocket.
What? Really? I always thought he seemed suspicious.
Thing is, by the time Sorin got to the Vista deck, the murder had already occurred, apparently.
No way! I don't buy that. Not for a second. It's a cover-up. A cover-up, I tell you.
That's certainly a possibility. And as a lawyer, it's certainly a possibility I have to pursue, but
But what? It's your job, right? So pursue the heck out of it. Just do it.
Pursuit intensifies.
Yesterday you said today, tomorrow, but today is today. Just do it.
Athena, I don't know how you keep getting
Do
in
it.
here. Athena, listen, okay? You need to leave.
Do it.
I'm on the 3rd floor. How did you get onto my balcony?
Athena, this isn't cool. Did you jump down from the roof, Athena?
That's a creme de la meme I've forgotten about. Thank you
know.
for bringing it back into my life.
I was watching a bunch of old memes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but is that really what's best for Ellen?
Sorin could be found guilty if the truth comes out tomorrow. But if we don't pursue this possibility, Ellen could be found guilty instead. Oh man. Either way, it sure doesn't spell out happily ever after for the two of them. So what are you gonna do, Mr. Wright?
I can't let an innocent person get convicted. So I guess all I can really do is pursue the truth. Even if it ends up devastating Ellen.
What a tough call to make. Still, there's always a chance, right? Maybe something will come up during the trial that will save the marriage.
I hope so. I really do. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, though. Well, Maya, let's go.
Break the news to Ellen, you mean?
Yep.
Mr. Wright, please take me with you.
She is gonna need some therapy.
I bet I can help you counsel Ellen through this piece of bad news.
Wait, what's that sound? Is that the sound of magic panties walking into the
Oh,
door?
God. No,
Athena.
not the magic panties.
I appreciate the offer, but don't you have somewhere else to be?
Do I? Athena, what are you doing here? I've been looking all over for you. Come on now, let's get back to practicing. No, wait. My body can't take it anymore. Boss, you gotta help me.
A lawyer always keeps their promises, Athena.
But, boss! If you bail on me one more time, Athena, I'm gonna use a real blade on you.
Actual life-threatening happening. I feel like Trucy thinks that she can just do anything because her daddy's a world-famous lawyer.
Oh my God.
They'll never put me in jail.
I mean, it worked for Kim Kardashian.
I don't know much about that, so I'm gonna let it go.
I wish I had crickets because for like not because it was bad, but because of like the oof.
I think you might have maybe Paris Hilton.
No, Paris Hilton's dad is owner of the Hilton Hotels.
Oh, no
Aptly
way.
named.
Kim Kardashian, a lawyer, right?
Well,
OJ's lawyer.
OJ's lawyer.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
That's who her dad was.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyways. Sorry, Athena, but somebody's got to do it. Better you than me, though. Hang in there, kiddo. Come on, Maya. We better get going. But first, I need to pet Charlie. It's also weird. Do they expect me to walk to court or what? Wait, what the hell are we even doing? I thought we were going to court.
Oh, wow. The only day Trucy spent in jail was when Phoenix was out of the country.
Right. We're going to present... Oh, you're right. We need to go break the news to... Oh, God. Are you ready, Nyanny?
No.
You got your tea and biscuits?
Tea and crumpets, hello.
Is that a crumpet I see there?
It's a
I see.
crumpet.
Nyanny crumpet. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know what that was. Probably just
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Crumpet.
good.
Hey, Justin. What's up? Good to see you.
Man, they should have a British version of that. It's just crumpet.
Crumpet. Tea and crumpets. Hello, Harry Potter.
Hello, Ellen.
This is how I get into my British voice. Is it offensive? Maybe a little. Sorry. I love you, Britain.
How did your investigating go, Mr. Wright?
Before I answer that, I need to ask you something. Are you sitting down? Was Sorin with you when Mr. Glumsbury attacked you in the reception hall?
I'm sorry I kept it from you. I was afraid he'd come under suspicion if I told you.
You're making this real hard.
So I kept quiet about it. I'm really sorry.
I see. I thought it was probably something like that. Listen, Ellen. I'm afraid I had to make a very difficult decision based on what I found.
What kind of decision?
This is very hard for me to say, but I'm breaking up with you.
What?
Yes, I know. We had a great run.
But you're a lawyer. My future was secured with you.
I know, I'm leaving you for Larry.
What?
I know.
For Larry?
I know. His new book is wonderful. And it makes me happy in ways you never could.
The Lawyer's Sutra? What even is the Lawyer's Sutra? Put your finger where?
The mysterious person you saw at
There.
the scene of the crime was most likely Sorin.
What?
In other words, in court tomorrow, I'm afraid I'll have to propose to you the possibility that Sorin is the true culprit.
Oh no! Sorin is innocent! No!
But don't you see? If I don't try to pursue that line of thought, you'll be found guilty.
No!
Please, Ellen, calm down.
Sorin just can't be found guilty! I'd much rather be found guilty instead! Ellen, you can't let yourself think like that! No!
Listen, Ellen, I'm going to tell you a story about a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world.
Oh, no.
Okay?
She looks so sad.
In photographs, I know. I absolutely love her.
Marriage is for life, right? Do you really think you can run away from the truth and still be truly happy with him? You're not married, so how could you possibly understand?
I mean, Ellen's double married, so she double understands.
Yeah, and also, oof, you know,
Yeah, a
Maya's
bit of a-
working on it. Jeez.
Jeez.
Cuts deep.
Sometimes you've just got to do whatever it takes to make things work.
Nice.
But, Nick, you talk to her.
You're right, Maya. Let's get married, and then we can really come down on her.
Yeah, let's get married.
Psych, that would be real funny, right? Well, that would never happen.
That'd be really funny. We should do it anyways as a joke, you know?
No, that's fine. That's
You
fine.
should-
No, definitely. I mean, like the whole premise of the joke was that it was such an impossibly bad idea that it would never happen in any
Impossible.
timeline. Absolutely
Never.
impossible. Yeah, never. Nobody wants that.
No, nobody.
Meanwhile, Pearls is just
Kicks the door in. Guard goes flying. Hey, don't just dump this all on me.
Mr. Wright, I'm innocent, and Sorin is too. So please, prove our
innocence in court!
I'll certainly do everything in my power. I just hope she doesn't lose control like this in court tomorrow.
By the way, did you not give a kiss to Emma? It would have been really awful if we had. She would not want it.
It's funny, the guard just walks up to Ellen after. Hey, some nice friends you got there, Ellen.
Those are some nice friends you got there,
Ellen.
Hey, sup, Light? What an entrance.
It's my Ellen voice. Or unless you want me to
I've nicknamed it Helen.
Yeah.
With a capital Hell.
Yeah.
I could just do Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, Helen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres.
I would prefer you didn't.
Hey, I'm Ellen. Let's dance, everybody. Hot guys, am I right, everybody?
Where did those sneakers from?
Yeah.
When did you start wearing a suit?
Yeah. I'm blonde and blue-eyed. My wife is Portia de Rossi. She acted in some good shows such as Arrested Development. Also, Better Off Ted. Watch it. It's
Better
really
Off
good.
Ted. I would thank you. Good show.
Ellen DeGeneres.
The one thing we found out yesterday is that Sorin was there at the scene of the crime. I only hope I can get some testimony from him that'll get to the heart of the matter.
Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. Look, I'm afraid you might not like the result of today's trial. This isn't a great way to start a sentence, but I'm doing it anyway. Nevertheless...
Don't tell me you're still thinking of going that route. Sorin is innocent! He can't be found guilty! Take me instead!
Ellen, please! Ellen! Ellen! Ellen!
I'm gay!
No, that's Steve.
What?
Ellen, please!
Yes?
Try to get a hold of yourself.
I believe in Sorin with all my heart. So how dare you doubt him? Regardless of which one of them is found guilty today, it's gonna be devastating for Ellen, isn't it?
We'll just have to do everything we can. That's the best we can do, you know? And even if we fail, no one will think any less of us.
Trial's about to begin, Mr. Wright. Meh.
All right, let's go, Maya.
Yeah. Ba-da-ba-da-boop-boop.
It's funny how, like, backloaded your voices are in this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have your time. Soon it will be only Tom.
I mean, if we had Gumshoe, it would be very even split.
I wish that Emma was Gumshoe.
Yeah, I know.
No offense, Emma, you're great.
No, you're fine.
Just Gumshoe's better.
Yeah. I really like young, seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, Emma best.
Yeah.
Bring back original
Court
Emma.
is back in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I forgot about Edgeworth. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, let's see now, where were we? In yesterday's session, we found out about the Sprocket family conspiracy to cover up the murder of dumbass Glumsbury with the second reception. Taking advantage of our collective shock, the defense, as usual, made a nonsensical claim. Namely, that there was a third person present who struck the victim.
Objection!
Hey, don't try to make it sound like I made it all up. The defendant herself made a statement about the existence of a third person, and further investigation has only proven her statement to be true. Then I presume the defense intends to focus on proving the identity of this third person. Is that all right with you, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed, Your Honor. In fact, I predict that the defense will most likely attempt to name Mr. Sorin Sprocket as the true culprit. How did... Wait, what? The driver during the accident that killed Mr. Sprocket's sister was the victim. Therefore, Mr. Sprocket had a motive to murder Mr. Glumsbury. That's what you plan to assert, is it not, Mr. Wright? Ah, am I that transparent? Come on, Wright. Did you really think the police wouldn't uncover this information? Congrats on getting it in one, Mr. Edgeworth. That's a golf reference. Caught that midway.
Is it?
Yeah, congrats on getting it in one. Hole in one.
But you're wrong. Sorin didn't do it. He's innocent.
Miss Wyatt, please.
He's innocent, I tell you.
That was awesome.
What is this, Mr. Wright? I thought your claim about the existence of a third person came from the defendant. It did. It's just this is a minor hiccup. Did you not discuss your strategy today with the defendant, Mr. Wright? Starting off on the wrong foot again is seriously cutting into my lifespan. I said that line a little weird, but that's fine. It would appear that the defense is in disarray. Therefore, the best way to clear things up is to ask Mr. Sprocket himself what happened. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Sorin Sprocket to the stand. What? Well, bailiff, please bring Mr. Sprocket to the witness stand. Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Little kind of
It goes up. It's Emma again.
Ooh,
God damn it!
Hey.
Hi there.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Rip.
Ow! There's something written on this paper airplane. Let's see. Sorin Sprocket, Managing Director of Sprocket Aviation. Mr. Sprocket, please give your answers in words, not paper airplanes. They were meant to fly. Now then, Mr. Sprocket. Please tell that doubting lawyer there what really happened at the time of the crime. Well, Mr. Sprocket, don't make me make a rhyme out of a line. Mr. Sprocket!
All right.
Yay!
The gag continues!
Yay!
Running joke. You want me to talk about what happened when the crime occurred? In other words, after the first wedding reception.
No? Okay.
When Ellen and I were in the reception hall, right?
Even the power of the court can stop him from marching to the
Not even.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Wow, missed the word
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
Not even the power of the court can stop him from marching to the beat of his own drum.
Did a nice little gymnastics vault over the one.
Yep.
What do they call that? The horse?
The pommel horse.
Pommel horse. 'Cause
I was stabbed by dumbass in the reception hall, and I collapsed on the floor. The next thing I saw was Ellen and Dumaz
Dumbass.
on the Vista deck. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. But when I got there, dumbass was already. I don't want to believe it, but it must have been Ellen. Nothing else makes sense.
Wait just a minute here! You actually think Miss Wyatt killed the victim?
That's right. Dumbass was killed by Ellen.
This is unbelievable! How can you suspect your bride, the woman you love? Objection! Objection! The truth can be cruel.
But what about this truth right here?
Oh, hey, TBD.
Looks
Thank
like
you.
a cruel truth to me.
I've run out of funny ways to say this, but name time! Sorin comes from the word soaring, and Sprocket is a type of gear.
Thank
His Japanese name is Raito Haguruma. Haguruma means gear, referencing his job as an engineer and his steampunk-esque aesthetic.
Oh, thanks, TBD. Appreciate it. Oh!
Raito is a loan word derived from the words light and right, the latter of which is a reference to the Wright brothers who invented the aeroplane.
Oh. Man, the Japanese names are so much more interesting and layered.
Yeah.
Like,
Very cool.
I think it has to do with the way that they do their naming conventions.
yeah, it also, like, the characters, like, you can have the same character mean different things depending on context and whatnot. So I think that also lends to a lot of interesting things. And then also, like, the loan words and whatnot also make it, like, really interesting.
Ooh, and Nagi adds on that Raito is written as future person in the kanji.
Oh, that's cool too. See?
Yeah.
All of those
Very
very interesting.
Ash right now is looking like the Chocolate Rain music video because he's perfectly in profile with the microphone. I wonder
Yeah,
is he
he's
gonna
looking
move?
at me.
Is he
I'm
gonna
giving
move
him some
if
slow
I-
blinks
Oh
sometimes.
no, it's
He's
too
like,
late. I was hoping it could just like go right back just to the side of him.
I like how I can scream and he just doesn't react at all, and he's just totally like chill with everything.
Yeah.
That's not safe, Ash. Actually, I realize he doesn't really meow in this room ever. He only meows in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because he wants food.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
I
He
wonder
only
if
meows
this
at
room
me,
is
too.
quiet. Oh, like there's sound foam. I think it like affects how he hears things.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
He likes the calm.
Well, chat, he has nothing to say to you.
Oh. Never
What?
mind. It's gross.
The truth can be cruel. Miss Wyatt, you must be very upset. Is there anything you wish to say?
Oh, Destiny, that's the bad habits.
Oh. No. I can't believe this. Sorin,
That's the saddest thing.
I thought that at least you would believe in me. Edgeworth, why do you look so happy smug? Stop it!
The best way now to show your love for your groom is to admit your guilt and try to atone.
Sorin, hold it!
Mr. Edgeworth, I haven't even cross-examined the witness yet. And quit picking on the clearly distraught.
Yeah, that is so not cool, Mr. Edgeworth.
A court is where we seek the truth. And the truth is unyielding, even to the truly pitiful. Mr. Edgeworth, I find it distasteful to make a lady cry. Et tu, Your Honor.
So what are you gonna do, Nick?
Reference.
If the third person Ellen saw on the Vista deck was Sorin, then we have to prove Sorin was there at the time of the murder. I don't see any obvious inconsistencies in his testimony, but we have to push forward. Yeah, the judge is a stand-up guy.
He's just a good person.
And so weird for somebody who sits down all the time.
I was stabbed by a dumbass in the reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor.
Please tell me everything you can about when you got stabbed.
After the reception, Ellen and I were enjoying a moment alone in the reception hall. Oh, were you? Then dumbass appeared and stabbed me. Like a real dumbass. He grabbed Ellen and the timekeeper and left the reception hall. Sorry, what?
Did Mr. Glumsbury say anything at that time?
I don't remember. After I was stabbed, I was immobilized by the pain.
I see.
The next thing I saw was Ellen and dumbass on the Vista deck.
The Vista deck, huh? But it was nighttime then. Could you really see them in the darkness? Let alone cast magic missile.
The moon was out, so I could see them clearly. From the looks of it, dumbass was trying to push Ellen and the timekeeper off the side.
So you saw the defendant. About to be thrown off the airship, you say?
That's right.
In such a desperate situation, it would only be natural for her to fight for her life. And the murder weapon was right there within her grasp. This isn't going well at all. I've got to do something fast.
But let me just press these last 3 statements first.
I knew I was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck.
I understand that your bride was in danger, but were you really able to move with a stab wound to the gut?
I was desperately trying to push the pain out of my mind.
I see. So adrenaline kicked in and gave you strength. Is that right? I don't see much of anything in this statement I can refute.
That's right. I almost passed out several times as I made my way to the Vista deck. But when I got there, Dumbass was already...
Are you absolutely sure, Mr. Sprocket, that by the time you got to the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed?
Yes.
But the Vista deck is just on the other side of the glass windows in the reception hall. Shouldn't you have been able to get there right away?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, have you investigated nothing? The only way to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and take the lift.
Whee! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Whee!
That's like an incredibly long roundabout way to get somewhere.
Yeah, like,
It is. There
So
should be like
can-
stairs
yeah.
leading out front or something.
there should just be a door.
Yep. No matter how much one hurries, it would take at least 10 minutes. Ah, well, that's unhelpful. But Sorin had to have gotten there before the murder, or my claim won't stand. Do you have any ideas for me, Maya?
It's definitely easier to prove that someone did go to the hold than not. I mean, you can't leave anything if you don't go someplace, right?
Can't leave anything. Wait a minute. I think Maya's onto something here. The lack of a certain something actually proves that Sorin didn't go to the hold. What's the matter? Are you stumped already? No, I'm far from stumped, Mr. Edgeworth. I know for a fact that Mr. Sprocket didn't go to the hold. You and your paper-thin bluffs. Mr. Sprocket's bloodstain on the lift proves he went to the hold. So what possible proof could you have that he did not, in fact, go through there? You want proof? Oh, everybody in the gallery, this guy wants proof, okay?
he wants proof?
I'm gonna give it to him. Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna give it
this
to
guy
him.
right here. He wants proof.
Oh, wow.
He asked for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
5 minutes from now, when I
Yeah.
give it to him,
Yeah.
remember that he asked for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Remember this.
Don't try to stop me.
gonna take
I'm
a
going
note.
for it.
I'm taking note over here.
You could do this,
We'll
Phoenix.
show
There's got to be proof that Sorin didn't go through the hold. Well, Mr. Wright, this proves that Mr. Sprocket didn't go through the hold.
Ah.
I mean, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Take that!
As anyone can see from the hold entry record, there's absolutely no mention of Sorin Sprocket entering the hold. The defense asserts that Mr. Sprocket used a different route to get to the Vista deck. You can assert all you want, Mr. Wright, but can you actually prove another route exists? Oh, I can prove the existence of another route to the Vista desk. Can I prove
Yeah.
the existence of another route to the Vista desk, you act?
Can he prove it? I don't know if he can prove it. I think.
I remember a certain maid being like, "Don't go out that door. That door leads to utter doom."
Okay, listen, guys. I've played like 8, 9,
11.
at least 9 Ace Attorney games, and I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, right?
Yeah.
When you have nothing to lose, like there's no badges, and they give you this option, always pick no, because if it's yes, it'll just force you to it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, now that I really think about it, I guess it's going to be hard to prove. But I can't back down now. The trial will be over if I do. There's only one thing I could do at a time like this. I can prove it! Even if it's just a bluff, I have to present something. Anything that could prove the existence of a faster route to the Vista deck. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Show us how Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck. Yeah, put that on your CV. Certifiable lawyer. I should. That would be really funny. I should actually like make a resume and just put like Ace Attorney and like the years that I played them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like apply for lawyer jobs and see if I get an interview.
My name is Nick.
No, it'd just be my name, but I just put my experience as like, yeah.
Like, is it
Oh yeah, class trials. That'll be my like school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my education will be class trials, and then my work experience will all be Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a trend right now for resumes. You put like power bars, so you'll be like teamwork, and then you have like a bar, and you could like fill it up a certain percentage to like.
Oh wow! Yeah,
like
a stat
bar.
sheet.
Like a stat sheet. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like teamwork, accountability, that kind of thing.
I mean,
that
like,
sounds really cringe.
but
It's a trend, man.
Yeah, sorry. Where's this trend is what I want to know.
On all the fancy resumes.
Oh, really? See, because I think it might look cringe now, but if I were hiring somebody and I could just reference guide and be like, I'm looking for somebody who's a team player, and they rate themselves highly, this is it. Like, I like that.
Or like,
Quick
what's
reference
your
guide.
experience in Photoshop? And you could be like, oh, it's low Photoshop, but high Illustrator.
Oh, like it sounds cringe, but it's actually dope. IMO.
If I ever need to do a resume, I'm just going to have a stat sheet for myself.
Mr. Sprocket made for the Vista deck through here.
And he was never hired ever.
No. Make it a D&D stat sheet. Dexterity.
To save his bride from danger, Mr. Sprocket opened the escape hatch and made his way outside along the outside wall to the Vista deck.
With a stab wound.
Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Whee! Whoop.
That would certainly be a much faster route to the Vista deck.
Objection!
Why? I need to know why that door exists.
It's an escape hatch.
It's the emergency exit. Why does the emergency exit exist on a plane if you're in the air?
Got me there.
I'm disappointed, Mr. Wright. Is that really the best you could muster? That escape hatch is not meant to be used to get from the reception hall to the Vista deck. One slip and that's all it would take for Mr. Sprocket to plunge to his death. I have to agree. The defense's claim is really stretching it. Man, but there would be blood all over that side.
Hold it!
Well, let's find out.
I understand how it sounds, Your Honor. But at this point, it's too early to definitively say that he didn't go that way. So, that's what you're going with then, I take it. Wow. Of course, Your Honor. This is real life, Mr. Wright, not some cinematic drivel or comic book. Do you have some sort of logical explanation to share that would convince us of your claim? I do!
Are you sure, Nick?
Absolutely! Kind of. Actually, I have nothing, so I'll just have to wing it somehow. If it's wings, I'm gonna be real. Wait a second, doesn't he wear a jetpack on his back?
He
He
does.
wears a jetpack. It wasn't dangerous for him at all.
On what do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way outside? Wait. On what do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way downtown walking fast and now she's dead now? Or he's dead now. My theory that he was able to get to go along the outside wall despite the danger is based on
The
two
power
trailer park
of-
girls. Oh, wait.
What?
They go around the outside.
Oh.
Based on money.
The power of
Honey.
the dollar.
Power of the dollar.
I'm really
is what
tempted
he
to throw the power of
needs.
love, but I'm pretty sure it's money.
Yeah. Well, and this is hurts you.
All right. Well, I don't care. Sometimes a little pain makes me happy. In Ace Attorney, specifically. Ow. Nice. I miss Franny. To save the bride he loves, the groom risked his life and rushed to her side. Mr. Sprocket was able to make it to the Vista deck despite the danger. Because of the power of love! The power of love. That love is a source of strength that can help one overcome any obstacle. I think I can relate, thanks to my own long, happy marriage. Wow, he actually seems to be buying it.
But Edgeworth has never loved in his life.
The power of love, you say? That kind of illogical argument is hardly viable in a court of law. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? Oh, wow. I'm afraid not, Mr. Edgeworth. You should never underestimate the power of love. You'll understand one day when you get married, which I won't.
Edgeworth hates marriage. He's not about that life.
Somehow I feel the atmosphere in court has changed a little bit. I think we all need to take a breath. Maybe we're all a bit too worked up, okay? Maybe some old wounds have been opened. I think that we can get Athena in here and maybe I'll talk this out in a nice therapy session. Exactly what is so wrong with wishing to remain unwed? Way to set him off, Your Honor. Never mind all this unscientific nonsense. Are you aware, Mr. Wright, that at the time of the crime...
The time of the crime?
Oh, shit. There was a huge propeller turning at full speed between the hatch and the Vista deck.
Okay, now can we talk about how I think it's stupid to have an escape hatch, especially right there, getting sucked through the propeller?
No, the propellers are, because the front is there, so the propellers are blowing back, so you would jump out and the propeller would push you and be like, whee!
Okay. Oh, so it's actually a feature, not a design flaw.
I guess so.
It's get you away from the aircraft.
I don't know, it'd still be fucking scary though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Even if a person were to go through the hatch...
Oh, God.
They'd be blown away in an instant, or end up like one of Nyan's morning smoothies. What makes them so red anyway?
That's the secret.
Ah!
Was this actually the right answer? Maybe not. It's been quite a tangent though.
Where does your power of love get you now, Mr. Wright? A huge spinning propeller, you say? In that case, I have to admit that does seem impossible. I should have known.
Nick, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles, right?
I can't believe the power of love was right. That was my least right answer in my head.
What was the other one? Authority?
Money or authority? Because I thought money would be like
I thought it was
jetpack.
money,
I thought it was
100%.
money for sure.
I guess we don't actually know that that's a jetpack.
Oh, looks like a jetpack to me.
Sounds like a jetpack to me. Smells like a jetpack, tastes like a jetpack, but it could be just a backpack.
I feel like I just saw Mia looking at me through Maya's eyes.
What's wrong, Nick? Why are you gaping at me like a giant sunfish?
Thank you, Maya. You just helped me remember something really important.
There it is. There's that fearless smile I was looking for. Now give us a mind-blowing theory, just like you always do.
Do the thing, Nick! I have to turn my thinking around. Instead of wondering how Sorin could have moved past the huge propeller, I have to think about what would have made it possible for him to do so.
Adam?
Guess Miles just put the ace in Ace Attorney.
One is the loneliest Edgeworth that you'll ever see.
2 can be as bad as 1, but it's not the baddest number like the number 1.
Man, you know who I miss, who used to keep Edgeworth company a lot?
Who?
Kay Faraday. Okay?
Yo, right?
Why didn't she become a detective? She would have been the best detective. Anyways.
She's off Yatagarasuing herself.
Anyways.
What else had a Yatagarasu?
Persona.
Okay. Persona has a Yatagarasu, and I was like, Yatagarasu. I know this from something
I know
else.
that word.
I have to think about what would have made it possible for him to do so.
Yo, PJ.
Your Honor, Mr. Wright only makes that ridiculous face when his back is pressed against the wall. Therefore, please do hurry and give your ruling before... Oh, crap. Mr. Edgeworth, it's still far too early to discount my theory. What are you talking about? The airship's large spinning propellers have already shredded it to pieces. But if we think a little more about the outside box... Outside the box...
There you go. You got there eventually.
I'm sure we can find a way he could have made it.
It's just Phoenix was thinking really outside the box with
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
If you just think about the box.
Outside the box. Stop trying to stall, Mr. Wright, and show us how it could have been even remotely possible, if at all.
Sure did, PKMN. Sure did. It was in the live game stream.
Look at that live game show.
I must agree with Mr. Edgeworth. Well, very well, Your Honor. There must have been a way. Some way that Sorin could have moved along the wall in spite of the propeller. Now then, Mr. Wright, what specifically would have made it possible? This is how it would have been possible for Mr. Sprocket to get to the Vista deck.
He got to the deck some other way.
The airship wasn't flying.
I don't know. These don't strike me as particularly funny.
No. But I do think the airship wasn't flying.
What?
Yeah. I do think so.
Because of the storm?
Because of the storm. And how else would they have seen?
That would explain why Larry saw the pterodactyl from the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the
Yeah.
cutout of the board.
And it was flapping in the wind.
Yeah. And this has been deep lore that I've been dissecting.
Well, let me try this one. Take some damage.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to take some damage.
Yeah, take some damage. I could also just be, you know,
some-
two,
you
we
want
could be,
some
we
damage?
might not be there yet.
Oh. Franny, please.
Friday, please.
He got some other way. I'm just really curious what Nick's going to say about this. Well, instead of going along the outside wall, the witness got to the Vista deck some other way. That's why the propeller is irrelevant to this case.
Really now, Mr. Wright, because as I recall, you were the one who was arguing that Mr. Sprocket made his way to the Vista deck by moving along the outside wall. Finger wag. Why, then, are you suggesting that he got to the Vista deck some other way? I agree. This new argument is complete about face.
Yeah, well...
What we want to know is what would make it possible to move along the outside wall. So please refrain from changing horses midstream, defense.
But that's how you win.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
I'd better think this through a little better.
Please, let me try again. The airship wasn't flying.
But pterodactyl.
What allowed Mr. Sprocket to go along the outside wall in spite of the propellers is the location of the flying chapel at the time of the crime.
The location of the flying chapel? The operating word here being flying. Yes, but wasn't it flying high in the sky?
No, Your Honor, I'm afraid it wasn't.
What? Then where was it?
At the time of the murder, the airship wasn't flying through the sky. But more to the ground.
What?
And if the airship wasn't flying, then that means... the propellers weren't turning.
Oh,
Clicks furiously.
I really like doing that.
Oh,
in
yeah.
real life, just clicking the pen a bunch.
You know, with the way he's going at it, he strikes me as someone who is invincible.
yeah.
It's a very old reference. In which case, if you get the reference, chat, it's an obscure one for sure, but I know you've seen the movie. I hope it doesn't blow up in my face. Mr. Sprocket could have gotten to the Vista deck along the outside wall. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? Oh! Ow! Oh, that's the worst. I have so done that. Owie, ow.
I don't remember.
Hey, Bryce got it. Nice. Was his name Boris? I think it was Boris, wasn't it?
Boris.
I am invincible. It's good.
I do not remember.
Bryce got it. Wow, but I've definitely done that. I think it was like high school. I was doing a test, and I would usually like just like twirl a pen a little bit and click it and stuff when I'm thinking. And then one time, like I was thinking real hard, and I was like, ah!
And everybody that was around you that was hearing click, 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 and then heard ow was like, deserve it, bitch.
Oh, Gargamon, I watched that when I was 6.
And also, big hello, welcome to Emergency Jurgens. Just saying that you're the best bot ever, and that we're their first and favorite streamers.
Oh, Emergency Jergens, you're my favorite, because sometimes when your hands get dry and cracked, you need the Emergency Jergens.
You got to break it out sometimes.
Oh, I thought it was detergent.
Oh, that detergent will dry your hands out.
Yeah, I thought it was for stains. Anyways. Ow. He stabbed himself with his pencil. That's got to leave a mark.
Objection.
Even if the propellers weren't turning, it would have been far too risky to go that way.
Oh, hey, Liz.
Ah, but Mr. Edgeworth, you're forgetting about the power of love.
Yes, the amazing power of love. Not this again. Very well. For the sake of argument, let's assume this so-called power of love made it possible for Mr. Sprocket to move along the outside wall of the airship. Can you prove that the airship was tied to the ground as you claim, Mr. Wright?
Well, I don't have any evidence that proves where the airship was at the time.
You can prove it, can't you?
Oh. Hey, Maya, can you think of anything we can use to prove it?
Can't say I can. Oh, wait! Didn't somebody see something outside the window at the time of the crime? I think I remember someone saying as much.
Do I have a piece of evidence that shows what was outside the airship?
Well, what are you waiting for?
This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the crime. We've done this rhyme so many times. If I had a dime for every time they rhymed crime. This piece of evidence shows that was outside the airship at the time of the murder, Ash.
What kind of lousy drawing is that?
It's a drawing made by Larry Butts.
And what can you prove with that poor attempt at artistry?
Ouch.
I think
Larry
he's
made this
improving.
drawing before he switched the lanterns, so it must have been right around when the murder was being committed. Now, if I could direct the court's attention to here.
Is that a pterodactyl? Does that mean that the airship actually went back in time to the Cretaceous period?
Objection.
We've already proven that time travel is nothing more than a gimmick, have we not?
Oh, we did, and I have no intention of bringing up that argument again. But this drawing shows us an important piece of information. It shows us that the airship was actually moored to the ground.
And what makes you so sure?
That's easy. All you have to do is consider who made this drawing.
It's Larry Butts. It's
Larry.
Butts. It's
That's right.
Larry's Butts.
It was Mr. Butts, and we both know what he's like. He must have seen something else and mistaken it for a pterodactyl.
I can't argue with you there.
I love it.
Hey! Wait just one doggone second here! What kind of moron do you guys take me for? I saw it with my own eyes! A pterodactyl flew right by the window, I tell you! I have sharp eyes! They are sharp eyes of an artist! Don't you believe me?
No.
Nick!
Nope.
Some friends you guys are! What about the judge? You believe me, right, Your Honor?
Those are some nice friends you got there, Larry.
Bye, PK.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you need to leave this courtroom. Bailiff, if you would.
Well, come on, oh, sorry.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
Why doesn't anyone believe me? Don't take it personally, Larry. I know you're just being, well, you.
Now then. So you're saying that what Mr. Butts really saw bears some relation to what was outside the airship at the time of the murder?
Yes, Your Honor. At least, I think it does. What this pterodactyl really is will prove that the airship was anchored at the mooring dock. It had better anyway. If it doesn't, my whole argument is bust.
If you're not confident about it, then please go ahead and tell us what it really was.
Yes, Your Honor. You see, it landed at Jurassic Park, where it was moored. Thanks, Phoenix. What could that pterodactyl have actually been? Please take a good look at this sign.
At the sign. It appears to have been broken and then repaired. But what does this sign have to do with the pterodactyl?
Please focus on this part of the sign.
The part that broke off and got reattached. What about it?
How about we turn it like this?
Oh, that shape! It's the pterodactyl in the drawing!
I saw the sign.
I mean, like, Larry did it really good. You got like a 1-to-1 on that.
Right?
The eye was a bit big in Larry's drawing, but, you know, who's a critic, right?
What Mr. Butts actually saw was this chunk as it was being blown through the air by wind.
What?
Oh, that's really funny, Adam.
It's a jetpack, I tell you. Oh my god. Fuck. Tom Howard?
Holland?
No.
Spoidia Man?
The
Ron Howard?
Bethesda guy.
Oh, Todd.
Todd Howard, yeah. Todd Howard designed that jetpack. That's how I know. He told me.
He told you?
Yeah, we're on a first name basis. It's great.
You and Todd?
Yeah, me and Todd. I call him Toddy. Hottie
Yeah.
Toddy. Yeah.
And he calls you install Skyrim for VR?
Yeah, I never really understood that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an inside joke between me and him, though, I guess.
Yeah. You guys had that kind of relationship.
Yeah. On the day of the murder, there were some heavy winds in the area of the mooring dock. But it's hard to imagine that this sign would make it as high as the airship would fly. That means the flying chapel must have been anchored at the mooring dock that night. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? I think we should change the name to the Lying Chapel.
Oh.
Objection!
Slowpoke, thanks.
Did you hear? Kingdom Hearts is coming to the Nintendo consoles. I can't wait to play Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance on my 3DS when it comes out. See, Clay, this is what I do. I'm still upset you didn't get my joke on the Mario Party stream.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I got it now.
Thanks, Slowpoke.
That's more than enough of this power of love nonsense, you pop culture junkie. I present all the proof you want, but your argument is based far too much in conjecture.
I kind of wish that Phoenix would just make everything a Steel Samurai reference,
Right.
because then Edgeworth would just not be able to refute it.
I know. Unless it would
Unless it
challenge
was-
his very being.
Unless he was like, just like the Steel Samurai wields, you know,
The power of friendship.
or whatever, or something wrong, and then, you know, Edgeworth's like, no, he uses the power of whatever. Bah, 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 bah. The Nickel Samurai uses the power of friendship.
Ah. Why don't we return to reality now? What do you mean, too much conjecture? Even if the airship wasn't flying, that alone doesn't prove the witness went along the wall.
True. Even now, it's no more than a possibility.
Then how do you propose Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck, Mr. Edgeworth?
I noticed something as I went over the evidence. Please take a look at this hold entry record.
Just Edgeworth's writing. Sorin, Sprocket. Perfect.
Me too, Justin.
What about it? I don't see Mr. Sprocket listed on here anywhere.
Don't you remember? In yesterday's session, we had a very similar kind of argument.
Did we?
Honestly, Mr. Wright, are you going senile already? We talked about Larry Butts using the defendant's keycard to enter the hold.
Oh, we did talk about that, didn't we?
In other words, even if a person's name isn't on the entry record, it's still possible for that person to have entered by using someone else's card.
Ah!
Mr. Sprocket, you entered the hold with Mr. Nickety, didn't you?
I did.
What? Why didn't you tell us that in the first place?
But Pierce is indispensable. Unlike Ellen.
I need a piece of paper.
Do you want this tiny book of Post-it notes?
Actually, can you pass me just like a big sheet of paper?
Why not just Post-it notes?
Sure, that'll work.
I'm gonna throw them at your face. You better catch them. You're gonna catch it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw it. I'm throwing it right now. I missed. Hold on. Let me get another Post-it note booklet. I'm gonna throw them at your face. Here goes. Oh. Oh no.
Oh no, they're everywhere.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorin is indispensable.
Okay.
Or Pierce is indispensable.
So
Sorin thought.
here we have a circle of lying, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Ellen is at the top here, and she's the suspect. And she's lying to protect Sorin, right? And now Sorin is lying to protect Pierce. And Pierce is lying to protect Sorin.
Right.
And so the only logical conclusion
we can come to
is that the killer is Trucy Wright.
Obviously, yeah.
Oh my, she's been so absent during this
I know.
whole experience.
Examine it closely.
Yeah.
There's no other way around
No,
it.
there's no joking.
The math checks out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot a line or two. Perfect.
Dumbass?
What?
All arrows point to Trucy Wright.
All arrows.
Get Morgan Freeman on the case.
I didn't want to mention him unnecessarily and risk having him wrongly accused.
If I hear that excuse one more time,
Are you gonna celebrate?
One more time.
I couldn't do it without him.
Mr. Sprocket, I ask that you testify in greater detail about your movements that night, and I'm not talking about your bowel movements.
He does love speaking of his bowel movements.
I think people should know. They're very regulated. The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over.
well, this doesn't help me one bit.
Mr. Sprocket, you've concealed information from us time and time again.
Trucy Wright.
Curses! Foiled again! You'll never take me alive, motherfuckers!
Then she hops in her panties and she flies away.
All the evidence right here.
Thank you, Trocy.
Thank you. Who do you think you are, treating this court of law with such irrelevance? That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you just gave.
You're welcome.
Thanks to you, we now know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now, there are no more inconsistencies in the witness's testimony.
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. Are you okay, Nick?
I wouldn't exactly call this situation, like, okay. It's kind of fine. Very low fine. Somehow I'll have to coax the information we need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. The truth.
The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce.
You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. Nicky to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide?
I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all the questions, that's all. It takes a long time for him to cut off the crust from all of my bread, and I don't want him to, because he might not have the time to do it if the police were involved. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him.
I see. Wow. It sounds like Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets.
He is. I hate crust.
Anyway, getting back to your statement. When did you meet up with Mr. Nickety?
We met up on my way to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives on another floor. But Pierce heard the commotion and came running to my aid.
He could hear the pandemonium all the way from the other floor. Mr. Wright, would you like the current statement added to the witness's testimony? Have it added! Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well.
Pierce heard the commotion and he came running.
Mr. Nickety, did Mr. Nickety come alone?
I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many.
He may say there were others, but seeing how they how they pulled that second reception off, I can't completely trust anything he has to say either. I see. So you, Mr. Nickety, and a few others headed to the Vista deck. Is that right?
That's right. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record.
Your name doesn't appear in the hold entry record because you entered with Mr. Nickety using his key card.
That's right.
So I guess the hold entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought. But now that Sorin's saying he was with Pierce and a few others, it's pretty tough to refute that statement. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Cat got your tongue? Did you finally realize that there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Okay, what's really crazy about this whole thing, though, maybe they really cleaned up the blood well, if this was true, but he went from the reception hall all through the airship with a massive stab wound.
Yes, and got married twice.
And the only place where there was blood, and a lot of blood, was on the lift.
yes.
Which means that he was actually profusely bleeding on the lift.
I know, right? Did you realize that there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Of course not! Wipe that smug look off your face! Or I'll do it for you. Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony.
I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic.
Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now?
The knife.
The knife?
Knife?
The knife?
Knife?
The knife?
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 Knife? Knife?
Knife?
Knife?
It's a pretty knife wound.
Knife?
The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared, but one wrong move would have spelled the end for me.
Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident.
I'm only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises.
Mr. Wright, would you like Mr. Sprocket's statement about his condition added to his testimony?
No, I'd like that part where he said knife.
Knife?
Not that it appears to be especially relevant to me.
Oh, no.
Should I have it added? Just best me, yeah, have it added. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added to his testimony.
I see, very well.
The part about the knife, that is. Ah, there it is.
The knife wound is quite deep and continues to throb with pain.
Your injury was really that deep.
Luckily, it missed my internal organs. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive right now.
According to his doctor, his injuries will take about 3 weeks to heal. There's no way someone with that kind of injury could have gone along the outside wall.
Ah. But he might have been able to go with the burst of adrenaline brought on by the pain.
Adrenaline. Is that your answer for everything? In a court of law, the only thing that matters is evidence, not rampant speculation.
At least admit it's scientific rampant speculation.
May I continue?
Yes, of course.
By the time we reached the scene, it was all over.
Hold it!
So you still insist that you reached the Vista deck after the murder had occurred? Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Ellen must have killed him. There's no other explanation.
I guess whether Pierce was with Sorin or not doesn't change the outcome.
I guess not. In fact, more witnesses actually makes it worse for us. So another cover-up, huh?
That Sorin has too many secrets. I bet he's still hiding other things too.
That's definitely a possibility. I'm even questioning whether or not he's wearing underwear right now.
I am not.
But in a situation like this, what we have to do is go back to the basics.
You mean go over the testimony and check for any lies or inconsistencies?
You got it.
All right, Nick. Let's go for it.
It just don't make any sense. Why wear pants under my pants? The truth is, that I was badly injured. The knife wound is quite deep.
I mean, yeah, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Stick him with it. The way that he should have been.
Mr. Sprocket, you just said your injury is a knife wound, didn't you? But the weapon you were stabbed with was this candelabra. A fact I know you're quite aware of.
Then where are the candles, bruh?
Very well. This is what I heard directly from Master Sorin himself. As you surmised, Master Sorin was stabbed by Mr. Gloomsbury on the day of the murder. It happened after the first wedding reception. The happy couple was in the reception hall when suddenly Gloomsbury appeared. He attacked Miss Ellen and tried to take her away. Master Sorin went to stop him and found himself in a struggle with Mr. Gloomsbury. That's when Master Sorin was stabbed with the candelabra, he said.
I remember zero.
It must have been a simple memory slip that made him misspeak. It happens to everyone. It has nothing to do with the case. You must be pretty desperate to point out something so minute.
Now just wait a minute, minute. English is stupid.
Right?
Oh, angriest!
Finally back home in Wisconsin after a month. Now sleeps.
Hey,
Yeah, get that rest.
glad you made it home safe.
All about that rest.
Hello, Wisconsin!
Yeah, that
No
was a
lateness.
thing.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me now.
Hope
Is
you're
that
doing
what it's
well.
from?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, really terrible teaching someone English. And it's like, so this is minute and this is minute. How do I tell them apart? You just need to know.
Yeah.
It's
This is
literally
read
context.
and this is read.
Yeah.
Have fun. How about live and live?
I have to agree, Mr. Wright. You hardly need to make such a big deal over such a small mistake.
But I contend that it's an important inconsistency. Besides, I couldn't find anything else. This is the only thing I have to go after.
And I say it's not important. Now, let's not waste any more time on this matter. I agree. Everybody has a little memory lapse every now and then.
Rapid, man. Ouch.
In 11th grade, we were reading stuff, and one guy was reading, like, we were reading, like, a play, and one
Sorry,
guy's
guys.
character
Yeah.
had to say the king lives,
Yeah.
but he said the king lives,
Mm.
and then everyone who had a line after him pronounced it as lives, and nobody...
As mockery.
No, just
Oh.
because nobody was sure.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh no, it's lives. Oh no.
As in his last name was Lives?
No, so the king lives was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the king lives. And it's yeah.
So the teacher who was just, you're doing great, sweeties. Keep reading.
I think he didn't want to be like, it's lives, you idiot. I think he
mean,
really just wanted to kind of,
I would hope he didn't want to do that.
I don't know the resolution of the story. It was just, yeah.
It's a good all-encompassing story. I'm just now making fun of your teacher, who is likely an English teacher who decided not to teach English on that.
He was really
particular
good. He was a really good English teacher. That's
yeah?
the thing.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna boop Ash's nose.
He liked it.
the fuck?
I know. It's like, what'd you do that for? But, Your Honor, please let me explain.
But can you really explain to this court what makes this slip so important?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. After all, it was Sorin himself who told Pierce that he'd been stabbed by a candelabra. This is more than a simple memory slip. There has to be some kind of reason for it.
Well, Mr. Wright, please explain why the witness's slip of the tongue is so important.
It has a family. The point to focus on here is why the witness would mistake the weapon used to stab him. Think carefully, Phoenix. This could very well change the course of the trial.
I see. So, why did the witness make that mistake, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Sprocket identified the wrong weapon used against him because...
He has
no memory of it. Oh my god, is this 50 First Dates?
Yes,
Oh,
mixed
Drew
with
Barrymore.
Memento.
He doesn't remember the incident, let alone the weapon used against him. Not only that, but I believe Mr. Sprocket has some sort of memory disorder. Therefore, the defense contends that Mr. Sprocket's testimony thus far is invalid! I'm okay, bud. Don't worry.
Just because you can't find a flaw in his testimony, you want to throw it all out. Your baseless claim is nothing more but pure slander to the witness's character. Mr. Edgeworth is correct, Mr. Wright. Can you explain your grounds for making this claim?
Of course, Your Honor. Think of what Sorin said. Now he's behaved. Oh, shit. Think of what Sorin has said, how he's behaved, and where I'll find a clue. That's where I'll find a clue.
All right, well, let's hear your argument then.
My grounds for claiming that Mr. Sprocket has a memory disorder is The Notebook.
I love that movie.
I haven't seen it.
Me neither. I just wanted to say that I loved it because I thought it would be funny to say then.
50 First Dates?
The Notebook.
I love
Oh,
that you
you've
love that
never seen
movie.
The Notebook?
No.
The Notebook is always with you. The Notebook he always has with him. I saw daily events and information about the people around him recorded in it.
Like a diary, perhaps?
My favorite part of The Notebook is when Jennifer Garner says to Chris Pratt,
Yeah.
"It's just like The Notebook said that we'd meet here on this beach in the rain."
Oh man.
And then they hugged and kissed and married.
Oh.
No, Your Honor. It's much too detailed to be an ordinary diary. It's more on the order of a database. Actually-
Database.
I think that there's a whole nother game world happening inside that notebook. It's so detailed.
A database, you say. The database.
That's right, the database. Database. For some reason, Mr. Sprocket is apparently unable to retain memories. That's why he writes every little detail of his life in this notebook.
How could you possibly know that for sure? He might just be an extremely compulsive person.
I thought so too myself at first. But to be honest, we accidentally got a stain on that notebook yesterday.
You mean you got a stain on it?
Hey, you're the one who tried to grab it out of... Uh-oh.
Never mind whose fault it was. Just get to the point already.
Right. Sorry. My favorite part of the notebook was Matt Damon.
Oh my gosh, his part of the movie was really good.
I know. When he kissed Ben Affleck. Oh,
Right?
The rain.
Oh,
It's romantic.
oh.
Mr. Sprocket. The page Miss Faye got a stain on yesterday. That's the page with the details of your stabbing on it, isn't it?
No, I only write in this notebook because I'm very compulsive. Now, drop the subject already.
Sorry, but I'm not convinced. I noticed an odd fact about your notebook, Mr. Sprocket. On the earlier pages, you used it to write down invention ideas. But after a certain date, you started writing down a lot more, and in much more detail.
Trying a new thing?
I believe your memory disorder stems from what happened on that date.
Something so monumental. It caused a memory disorder, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna start calling you Dr. Lawyer now.
Dr. Lawyer MD.
Dr. Lawyer MD.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm a lawyer, I know. Sorry, but I do know what I'm talking about because I'm now a doctor lawyer. And this is the proof. It's my medical license. This is
My
the thing that
medical
caused Mr. Sprocket's memory disorder.
Y'all ever heard of prosopagnosia?
Oh. Allows you to, or hinders your ability to identify noses, right?
Yeah.
Nice. You were involved in this car accident too, weren't you, Mr. Sprocket? And the shock of losing your beloved older sister is what caused you to develop your memory disorder.
It could have also been the car accident. We don't know how much head trauma he has, Nick. It doesn't have to be that his sister died so he doesn't remember things.
Holy shit, Nyanny. I'm a lawyer, not a doctor, okay?
Is this true, Mr. Sprocket? Well, isn't...
Mr. Sprocket!
It's true. That accident did something to my mind.
What?
Ever since that day, every time I go to sleep, I lose my memories. And when I wake up, the most recent thing I can remember is the day I lost my sister.
Oh man, that's gotta suck.
It's actually 50 First Dates, though.
It is.
It's as if I'm constantly going back in time.
Oh.
What? That's truly tragic. An inconsolable time traveler who goes back in time whenever he goes to sleep.
Besides, time travelers do exist, you know. But you wouldn't understand.
So that's what Sorin meant. He was talking about himself.
The reactions of the people around me each time I awoke made me aware of my condition. That's why I decided to write everything down in my notebook so I could move forward.
So, the only memories you have since that day are the ones written in that notebook.
That's right.
And since the page about your stabbing got stained, you couldn't read from it, could you? There's just one more thing I'd like you to clarify for me, Mr. Sprocket. Why was a lawyer and his spirit medium at large allowed to touch evidence? This is what happens.
Shh, it's okay, baby. Don't worry about it.
Exactly what are your feelings towards the victim?
Mr. Sprocket's feelings towards dumbass Glumsbury.
That's right, Your Honor. The witness said that every time he wakes up from sleep, his mind goes back to the day where his sister died.
Mr. Wright, you can't mean...
Oh my god, TBD, that's the perfect description of that movie. 50 First Dates is a good movie trapped inside an Adam Sandler movie.
It was like part of the beginning of Adam Sandler's like vacation movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like, where does this movie take place? Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why? Because it takes place in Hawaii. Everybody, let's go.
I want to be there. Yeah, I think he said that too, didn't he? He's like, I just started filming movies in like vacation locations because I wanted to go on vacation, basically.
It really seems like it.
I think he really did. Like that was the whole thing for that like bro movie he did with the mall cop dude.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I can't remember his name though.
Oh,
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Well, there was that, but also apparently it was a really bad movie. They're just old friends. And they get together and they go on a vacation, basically.
Oh.
Oh.
What about the one where he's also his sister?
Oh.
Anyways.
Isn't that take place in like
Kevin
Spain?
James? Thank you.
Kevin James.
Anyways, Mr. Sprocket. Grown-ups, thank you. That's it, Bryce. Damn, Bryce, you're on the ball today.
But grown-ups, isn't that with like a bunch of people? It's oh, you only said Paul Blart.
I don't know.
I don't even think he was in that. It was
Adam Sandler?
No, Adam Sandler was. It's Adam Sandler, David Spade.
I'm pretty sure
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Always Rob.
Honestly, they're like best friends.
That's why he always takes them on vacations with his movies.
Right?
Yeah, and I don't think that
for one scene, one line. That's all Rob needs to do. Yeah, they did. Apparently, the second one was better. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. Tell me, Kevin James was in that movie. Anyways, we're really off
Chris
topic.
Rock. You got Kevin James mixed up with Chris Rock.
I love Chris Rock.
Would you believe prosopagnosia? Your pent-up feelings of anger and resentment towards Mr. Glumsbury for the accident were renewed each and every time you woke, were they not?
Woke.
But you couldn't take it anymore, so you turned to murder. Isn't that right? What? Mr. Wright, are you saying that the witness murdered Mr. Glumsbury? For revenge? Well, Mr. Sprocket.
Objection!
Oh, she's coming in. Surprisingly well put together. Miss Wyatt?
Your Honor, I did it. I killed Mr. Glumsbury.
No! What?
Not this again!
Miss Wyatt, what are you trying to do?
Don't tell me you're still thinking of going that route. Sorin is innocent. He can't be found guilty. Take me instead.
Ellen, please. Ellen, try and get yourself together. I guess she really meant it.
My Sorin didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who should be convicted.
Oh, we'd understand that you're confessing your guilt.
No. Wait just a minute.
Ellen? Why would you cover for me? After I testified that I thought you must have killed him.
I'll admit, I couldn't believe my ears at first. But all I want is for you to be happy. Your happiness is my happiness, Sorin.
Aww. Ah. But without my notebook, I'd even forget those feelings of yours by tomorrow. Knowing that, do you still feel this way?
You've loved me all this time,
Oh my god, I'm crying a little. Oh, it's so beautiful.
the same way you did before the accident. That is how I know that you're the same person I've always loved.
Oh,
No disorder can change that.
oh. Here comes beautiful.
Ellen? Your Honor, there are 2 things I'd like to correct.
Oh, sorry. Let me collect myself. 2 corrections, yes. What are they?
First of all, I want to withdraw one of my statements. That's right, Dumbass was killed by Ellen. Without memories to rely on, I took the police completely at their word.
You can't be serious.
Hey!
Like breakup, baby, Justin. Thank you.
Looking at Clay's drawing and watching this game like, you.
Right?
Me right round, baby, right round.
Sorin never really doubted Ellen in the first place, did he, Nick?
You can just write Justin's name on that one. I'll post that on the board.
Let me use
I'm kidding. It's probably
No.
too big. That's fine.
That's good.
Ellen really does love Sorin with all her heart. But in order to save her, I'll still have to go after Sorin. I hope you can forgive me, Ellen. Thanks, Justin.
And what's your other correction, Mr. Sprocket?
If he says, I love my wife, then I'm going to be like, oh.
The truth is, I never felt anger or resentment towards Dumbass about my sister.
What? Why not?
That's because the one who caused the car accident was me.
What?
Order! Order in this court! Please continue, Mr. Sprocket.
I'm the one who killed my sister. To protect my career and my future, my father made Dumbass take the blame. In exchange for money and the position of lead servant.
Starting to feel bad for calling him a dumbass all the time now.
Yeah, he seems
Yeah.
like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
So, you see, Dumbass must have held a grudge against me. Not the other way around.
Man, is there anything money can't fix, apparently?
No, literally no.
I know, right? It's like, wow, this is a devastating issue. Just throw some money at it. It'll go away. Huh.
Global warming.
Yeah, I mean, like, ask the legal system.
Yeah, that's true.
And he must have attacked Ellen to get his revenge on me.
Are you sure about all of this, Mr. Sprocket?
Very sure. It's all been written down in detail in my notebook.
That notebook is important evidence supplying background to this case. I must insist you submit it as evidence.
Ooh, it's got details, everybody. It's got details. I mean, yeah, we could submit it as evidence, but also he kind of needs it to live. So I don't know what we're gonna do.
The lawyer said I had turned to murder.
Sorin had been writing nothing but ideas for submissions on this until March 8th of last year, when he abruptly began to chronicle the events of each day in excruciating detail. However, the details of the murder have been rendered illegible by a bloodstain left by a mysterious lawyer and his accomplice.
The lawyer had said I turned to murder, but that is untrue. However, what is true is that my older sister and dumbass are both dead because of me and my negligence.
I just glanced through Mr. Sprocket's notebook. I wasn't able to read the part about when he was stabbed due to the blood stain. But what's written here about his sister's car accident is exactly as he stated. Your Honor, as long as it matches what's written in that notebook, can we still take the witness's testimony as valid, in spite of his memory disorder? Yes, I believe we can. I understand now that the witness's memory is in disarray. But what Mr. Sprocket himself wrote in this notebook is true. Oh, if what? Doing a lot of reading today.
Yeah, you've got a lot of lines.
Then that means by the time Mr. Sprocket's party reached the scene, the victim had already been killed. Edgeworth's right. I'm still in the same bind as before. But should I really simply accept the contents of the notebook as a substitute for Sorin's memory? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Will you accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories?
Well, I accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories? No. Wait a minute, Your Honor. The defense requests a chance to examine the notebook to see if it is trustworthy.
Huh. Well, but be quick about it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, how should we examine it?
Well, we should look at it from all different angles to see if there's anything suspicious. Ooh, that's suspicious.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, a pegaball with the rainbows. Oh, there's an area maybe for a name, and he didn't write his name. That's, you know.
I wish I could make this go a bit faster.
Oh, yeah. Cross-examine the notebook. Yes, DFM. Yes.
Well, that's what I was hoping that they'd actually do.
There's no point if I don't look at what's inside. I have to open it. With your permission, Sorin, here I go. Yikes. Oh, it's just the page Maya got all stained. But I guess it's not going to be very helpful at this moment. I'll keep going. This is the last page where there's writing. Something about this page doesn't sit right with me. I'd better take a closer look. Huh. The page has been torn out, and it looks like there was something written on it.
What was written on it? Can we get a zoom game? Okay.
It looks like a page has been torn out here. Mr. Sprocket, do you know why this was what was written on it?
Oh, that. I often tear out a page when I write somebody a note. I probably wrote something down for somebody, tore it out, and gave it to them.
But that doesn't look ripped.
No.
Ow.
Well, let's see where it goes. Yeah, ask the guy who has no memories, why don't you? Is flashback really necessary?
Just for the toss.
Oh, yeah! That flashback was necessary!
That solves that then.
Objection! Wait a minute! We can't ignore the possibility that something important was written on that page.
But now the page has been torn out. How can we determine what was written there?
Well, let's see. To find out what was written in the notebook, we should heat it up with a lighter. I think you use fingerprint powder. Wait, no. That's weird. I would have thought to use a pencil.
Do rubbing. That's what you would do.
Right? I know.
Hold it up to the light, maybe. Like fingerprint powder? I get like. Oh, unless it is
Call Emma.
Heat it with the lighter.
Burn the devil book.
Burn the devil book, yeah.
Burn the evidence.
Well, which
Burn
one do you
the
want to go with?
Oh, man.
What was written in the notebook? What
I
was
say
written in
try the
book?
powder.
Well, I'm gonna save and let's burn it because it's funny.
Joke.
And then let's try the light.
Okay.
Because if it was a matter of who, then the fingerprint powder makes sense. But what?
Yeah.
Like it's white powder. I don't know how that would work.
Me too.
Well, like.
I think light and lighter are similar enough that it's
Yeah.
like one of those two.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna
well,
try this because I think it's
Okay,
wrong.
Go for it. Yeah.
If it's right, then whatever.
Yeah, win.
I know. We should heat the notebook with a lighter. Maybe the heat will reveal what was written. Your Honor, do you have a lighter I could borrow?
A lighter, and what exactly are you planning to do with one?
I want to heat this notebook up over an open flame.
Do you have any reason to believe there's something to be gained by doing that?
Well, it's just a hunch, Your Honor, but
I won't let you take a lighter to evidence over some simple hunch. Have some sense, Mr. Wright.
the judge is right. Setting the notebook on fire would be a disaster. I'd better look at this more logically, like he said. Let's see. I know. We should hold the notebook up to the light. Huh. I don't see a thing.
What are you flailing about over there for, Mr. Wright?
No. Just a minute, Your Honor. I just need a little more time to...
Mr. Wright, this court does not accept answers in the form of pantomime. Pantomime.
That's funny. Yeah.
I think the judge misinterpreted my movements.
Yeah. Fingerprint powder. And I think it's gonna like fill in the imprints on the back and you're gonna get a stencil or something.
If we use fingerprint powder on the notebook, we might be able to see what was written.
Fingerprint powder. How would that help us find out what was written there?
Well, if the writing left indentations on the blank page behind it, fingerprint powder could make those small indentations visible to the naked eye. Oh, stop. Fingerprint powder would only sully the notebook further.
Mr. Wright, if you use the powder and still don't find anything, then you must accept the notebook as a representation of the witness's memories.
All right, Your Honor, I understand. If I don't find anything, it's all over anyway. Powder, don't fail me now. I will now use the fingerprint powder on the blank page. For my next trick, I will blow on it.
Oh wow.
To find if we can see anything what was written on that torn out page. Yeah, watch as I defile this page live on stream. Here we go. First, I touch a spot to dust with the fingerprint powder. When I've dusted enough powder, I blow into the mic to blow the excess powder away. If something should appear, I should touch analyze to point out what came up and then touch confirm.
I'll stop.
Thank you.
No, keep going.
Senpai, it's too much powder. It's everywhere, Senpai.
I still have a lot left in the tank. Oh, and there's more book. Oh my god. Oh, why?
I got a lot of book to cover, baby. I think you're gonna run dry before you cover me all.
Challenge accepted.
Zero. I am 2. That's it. I'm muting this stream.
But I was just about to blow.
Oh, interesting. Can't see the cape. Oh no, I only muted myself.
I really don't think this works like this. Oh, man.
Oh, Adam!
9 years ago, Nick was faced with a diary, a lost page, and a lost badge. Unlike 9 years ago, he found a way to redeem himself with the power of science.
I was actually thinking, I'm starting to notice a trend, and it feels like this case has like many aspects taken from many other cases.
Yeah, it's an
Like there was a
amalgamation.
car accident. Maya's here. Edgeworth is here. I don't know.
Yes, no, and then there was a timekeeper that was the murder weapon.
Yeah.
With a secret meaning to it. There was a notebook that we had to beat.
Well, Mr.
I think
Potato,
What do you want from me,
Can you
game?
just adjust the angle of the notebook to get more straight on? Yeah, there you go. It might have a better time. Is all.
Mr. Potato, send me your meme Dojin lines. I need them. I need them as research. And I struck and killed dumbass.
What do you want from me? We can clearly read everything.
Dumbass took Ellen to
Can you?
the Vista
What's analyze
deck.
do?
You have to hold
Oh.
down the L button.
Oh, okay, great.
What is analyze?
Dumbass took Ellen to the Vista deck.
It's when you're feeling constipated, and it just allows a little bit of ease.
This has to do with the case.
Works both
There
ways.
might be some other important message here too, then. It says, I struck and killed dumbass. This is huge!
I thought that was my line.
Sorry, guys. You know I can't hold the L, ever. I struck and killed dumbass. That's what's written on the torn out page. What? It can't be.
I don't believe it. There has to be some kind of mistake. Sorin would never, could never.
Miss Wyatt!
Bailiff, please get the defendant to the infirmary at once.
Damn, Raymond. Fucking killed me. He can't take it. He can't hold it because he doesn't realize he's been holding it the whole time.
Oh.
Ouch. Wow. I feel like Ellen right now.
Apparently the defendant got too worked up and she's resting in the infirmary as we speak. Now then, please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. This notebook is all Mr. Sprocket has to remember things by. With this critical page torn out, not even Mr. Sprocket himself knew the truth of what he'd done. Oh, we had memory loss too.
Oh yeah. And prosopagnosia. I'm the one who killed dumbass.
Oh.
So it wasn't Ellen. Oh, thank goodness.
Mr. Sprocket, does this mean you were at the crime scene during the murder after all?
I guess I must have been.
But Mr. Sprocket, can we really believe what's written in this notebook?
Nobody touches this notebook but me. And when I sleep, it's under lock and key.
Maya fidgets nervously.
I don't remember writing that I killed dumbass, but I guess I must have.
Well, now that we have a confession, I'm afraid I must render my verdict.
Of all the...
Yes, Your Honor. Please give your ruling now while Ellen is asleep. I want the woman I love to be set free as soon as possible.
Sorin really does love Ellen after all, doesn't he?
Yeah. So this is how it ends. But is that how it really went down? Is there really no way for them both to be happy?
I know what happened.
I know we should consider anything written in the notebook to be the truth, but still.
I myself wrote of the crime in my notebook. No further proof is necessary.
Sorin himself wrote it in his notebook. Wait a minute.
Very well. I will now give my verdict.
Ellen's about to be found not guilty, and Sorin will be convicted for the crime instead. And yet, am I really ready for the judge to give his ruling?
No, and I'll explain the reason. Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
I was gonna explain the reason why, because remember when Maya had that book?
Yeah.
She was possessed by Trucy at the moment, and Trucy wrote it in there.
Oh no.
Ripped the page out, dropped it in the blood so he wouldn't have an accurate recollection.
Yep.
And then got rid of the evidence in her panties.
Damn.
It all makes sense when you think about it.
If the judge declares his verdict now, Ellen will be found not guilty. As her defense lawyer, that's my job, to prove her innocence. Still, will this verdict really make Ellen happy? No, not when there's still one more avenue left to explore.
This court finds the defendant. Oh my God, again. Can I ever just pass a verdict?
Your Honor, there's still something that bothers me about that notebook.
Oh, is there?
What are you doing, Mr. Wright? All you have to do is keep quiet, and your client is a free woman. I know, but I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think there still might be a way. A way for Ellen and Sorin to be happy.
What do you mean by more than meets the eye, Mr. Wright? Oh my God.
Transformers!
They are Transformers.
I believe the question here, Your Honor, should be, why was the incriminating page torn out in the first place? This is a trick magicians like to call misdirection.
Why, to destroy the evidence, I would imagine.
But removing it from the notebook is the same as removing it from Mr. Sprocket's memory. Which means he wouldn't have been able to trick the police if he came under suspicion. No, if he wanted to cover up his crime, he would have to remember that he had done it. Just what are you getting at with this line of inquiry, Mr. Wright?
Yes, please explain that we can all understand.
Yes, Your Honor. The page was torn in the notebook because somebody else tore it out. The incriminating page was torn out by somebody else. But what? Oh my God.
Order! Order! Are you claiming a third person interfered with the notebook?
It's not all that surprising if you consider what's happened up until now. After both the car accident and the murder of dumbass Glumsbury. There was always a cover-up not far behind.
But I had my notebook with me at all times.
Did you? Because I remember you were in a panic yesterday because you couldn't find it.
That's true.
So who orchestrated this particular cover-up, Mr. Wright?
If we think back over the course of the trial, it's pretty easy to guess.
Trucy.
The one who may have tried to tamper with Sorin's memories is...
Trucy.
Trucy Wright! This person might have tampered with Mr. Sprocket's memories.
Oh my God.
That person, that's your daughter! Really?
I believe so, Your Honor. But I might also be wrong.
That isn't the kind of line you should deliver with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Claim returned to sender.
Rejection received, Your Honor.
I really thought it was Trucy, though. I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, it's gotta be her.
I know. Okay, slow down. Time to collect my thoughts. Ooh. I'm right, but I might also be wrong. That's funny.
Oh, you know it, Gregory.
Oh, right. I almost picked Trucy again.
It's really Trucy.
The one who tampered with the notebook in order to manipulate Mr. Sprocket's memory. Is Pierce Nickety.
Pierce? Pierce tried to tamper with my memories? Pierce was manipulating me?
Case in point, the 2 receptions that were held to cover up the murder. It was Mr. Nickety who directed the guests and orchestrated the entire scheme.
No, it can't be. Which of my memories are mine and which have been rewritten? When did he start rewriting my memories? Who wrote this? And this? And this? And this? And this? And this? And this?
I knew it. Oh my god. Ha, ha, ha. He literally took off. Oh. What?
Goodbye.
Look, Nick, he's coming back down.
My memories. Ellen.
Well, I mean, you know, not the time at all, but now we know how he got around under the vista.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Sprocket!
Bailiff, please get Mr. Sprocket to the infirmary on the double. Give them the lovebird suite in the infirmary. Mr. Sprocket has been taken to the infirmary. And, I would normally push on, but, seems like this would be a good time to end it because we have a stream coming up a little earlier.
A lot early. What's the matter? Thank you.
Well, as the trope goes, the butler did it.
Yeah, this case is basically the Trope Master 9000. It just pushes the tropes.
But yeah, what Clay was saying is next stream starting early.
3.
So
It's starting in
37 minutes.
Why is it early? We got something going down. It's a Canadian holiday today.
it's BC Day.
What? You cut the rest of it out?
Yeah, I did.
Well, Justin, I tried.
So what is that? What does BC Day mean to you, Clay?
It's a day to appreciate the British and Columbia
Yeah,
and the things that really matter in life.
right? So you drink tea and crumpets while also drinking Colombian coffee.
True. British tea and coffee and Colombian coffee. All right. Yeah, British Columbia. What a funny province name, eh? When you really think about it.
Yeah, well, it's the British version of Columbia.
Right?
Which isn't all that good.
Accurate?
No.
It's not that accurate at all.
Not in the slightest. What is Columbia even known for? I don't personally know.
Coffee?
Columbia known for
Drugs?
for drugs was a recommended one. But let's talk about other things such as emeralds, the myth of El Dorado. We have similar things to that here. We got the myth of affordable housing.
Yikes. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. End the stream, Nyanny.
And the stream.
End the stream. Yeah, we got some dance coming up. That story's certainly heating up.
Oh my god.
But yeah, and I just want you to know I appreciate you, so thank you.
Oh.
Not you.
Oh. I was gonna say, I've been waiting years for this.
I know, I can feel it.
Oh,
And one
one
day
day.
you might earn it.
One day I'm gonna earn that.
Yeah.
And then I can finally be set free and I can disappear and finally be, free.
Bada boom. Bada bang. Until we see you in 36 minutes. Goodbye.
Okay, I love you. Bye.